I don't know, was it 4-hour live show? We were live for the Terrion Arnold trade. Yeah. The RRI proved correct, which shout out to you. You developed it. We have now cracked the code, and Rico guarantees he will be able to predict Brad Holmes' selection every year here on out.
At least the first round selection.
That's it. No promises beyond it. Elite Raz and that pro day visit.
The pro day.
We had a grouping of 5 guys. Terrion Arnold was one of them.
And it always helps if you happen to be an Alabama grad.
Correct. Look, there is something to that. You know, like the Eagles and Howie Roseman clearly value Georgia football and how they're developed. Brad Holmes clearly values, at least valued, how Nick Saban did it and the preparation and the type of player you're getting.
I mean, because think about it. If you play in a playoff game against the Eagles, it literally is the SEC championship game, Georgia versus Alabama.
Yes. We will have a blitz later in the show. It's not winners and losers, and it's not grades, because Lord knows this radio show hates all that. It's just going to be explain this or thoughts on that.
It was a couple of
Okay, well, you can just say the in Portuguese is Atlanta. We'll get to it. But I want to serve both days here. So I would like to hear the experience from the people who were here last night. The city looked great. I was so thankful ESPN didn't do the lazy stock footage of the Motown Museum and the fist and the spirit. And they actually made us look really good. The city made itself look good. It was a sea of Honolulu blue. They had to cap the gates. You broke the record.
Like 2 hours before the draft even started, they told people, you got to go someplace else, but you can't come here.
You broke the record for day one attendance. It looked fabulous. And my dream scenario for the people, not that I ever would suggest or think that Brad Holmes takes 10 seconds to think like this. It was moving up to give this crowd some meat. Give this crowd something to chew on. Don't wait till pick 29. They moved up, and they got a guy that clearly they really like. And
I don't think that both things are like happened because of that. I think it was great that it did.
Yeah.
But, when all of a sudden 14 offensive players just start falling, that's when you're Brad Holmes, you start saying, okay, eventually defense is coming. But each time a player offensively is selected, another defensive player slides down. So here's the list of players we want. We're going to wait, and if one goes, then maybe we hit the domino and we jump in there. And it was funny because like Mark Ryan last night was saying, after pick 11, you got to trade up. And it's like, Mark, no. You can't trade up that early because you're going to give away so much stuff.
Mark needs a Valium.
He did.
Okay, so let's just start there. Mark needs to be medicated.
He did.
So, okay, that's just in the books.
But by the time he moved up, it cost you a third-round selection. And for those who are all bent out of shape.
Who's been out of shape?
Some people.
Really?
It's a minority. Okay, I'm not. It's not even a vocal minority, but it is some who didn't like the fact because some people thought that Arnold would still be there at 29. Newsflash, he wouldn't. Now, you gave up a third-round selection, and if that third-round selection, by giving that up, means that you now, if you're in the second half of the NFC Championship game, you actually have a cornerback who can cover a receiver that the ball won't bounce off his face mask, guess what? You may be going to the Super Bowl, and you won't care about this third-round selection.
Here's the way to look at it. Lions started with 4 top 100 picks. All right, you took a third, and you got Carlton Davis. That's CB1. Now you took another third, and you turned it into Terrion Arnold. Now, whatever they draft today, and of course, we're going to talk about it, and I think you get a better idea where they're going to go today. But if I'd said to you at the start of the draft, here's what your first 4 picks will net you. Carlton Davis, Terrion Arnold, and X. And fill in the blank on whatever the hell you want in the second round. Let's say it's Jackson Powers Johnson. Let's say it's Doug's illegitimate kid from Illinois. What the hell's the D tackle?
Oh, I know.
Johnny Newton.
Yeah.
Like, if you get those 3 players, would you have signed up for that before the draft? The answer is yes.
Yeah. And, it was funny because I was just kind of reading about Arnold and what some experts were saying about his game. And I want to give credit, Lance Zierlein from the NFL. You know who he compared his game to? Ironically enough, Marshawn Lattimore. I was saying, because remember, it was like, the Lions are going to try to make that trade.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, His comparison is Marshawn Lattimore. So, yes, do I think you did a good job? Yeah, now time will tell, but moving up at the time, getting him, yeah, it fit what Brad Holmes wants, the pro day, the elite RAS score.
Oh, that's right.
And you now have a guy who's going to be CB1 at some point on this team. And he won over the team when he said, "What up, though?" He won over the city.
Yeah, I don't care about that. 248-539-9790. Yeah, that's all. I don't give a damn. Go win games. I don't care about that crap. I love last night. You know, we're driving back, and it's 12:30, whatever it is. We were the only two sober people in this place, and we're driving back, and they're interviewing Terrion Arnold, and it's on. I think it was Sirius or whatever it is. Yeah. And he goes, "Oh yeah, I'm a super humble kid." Cutscene. Next quote. "I'm taking out every number one receiver." I go, "Okay, we may need the definition of humble."
Yeah.
But look, if Holmes was going to call his shot and move up, what did I tell you? There's no complaint here.
Yeah.
Like there's no scenario you're ever going to look back at this and go, well, that pick didn't make sense. If Terrion Arnold works out or doesn't, well, you grade GMs on, do you bring good football players here?
Right.
But you know what I love is when this guy makes a pick, I'm never left feeling like, what the hell? Like if we were doing radio in Atlanta today, how do you explain that to your audience?
Atlanta, Minnesota.
No, Minnesota. No, I disagree on Minnesota.
No. The reason why Minnesota, because you got two good picks, but you didn't need to move up for either one.
No, hold on. I disagree on the first one. And again, we're not doing Minnesota radio, so who gives a damn? Right. But the Broncos at 12 easily could have been calling the Jets to move to 10. Where are you picking? 11. Okay. I'm going to make sure you don't leapfrog me. I'm not the one who's obsessed with JJ. I'm telling you that happens.
Right.
So, but the second one, I'll agree. But again, I mean, you had the Colts draft a guy who at one point was pronounced medically dead. You know, great. You just took a kid at 15 who might have a 4-year career.
Yeah.
That's the type of stuff that gets you fired. Yeah. Like Brad Holmes doesn't do that.
You had the Raiders who took a tight end last year, only to take another tight end this year.
Yeah, you have all these weapons, and then it's Aiden O'Connell. But I'd like to know where Lion fans are at with the pick. I'd like to know where you're at with the event. I thought it looked awesome on TV. Everyone seemed to have a great time with it. The city came off looking good. It was nice for a change because I get sick of it as somebody who I travel a decent amount. You get so tired of people looking at you like you're a homeless person. Oh my God, you live in Detroit, you poor thing. I go, yeah, actually, it's really not bad at all. But thank you for your concern. Yeah. Like it's nice that we pull it off on TV and it looked first class. It looked right.
I mean, yeah, from the introduction of bringing out Eminem. The current players.
Well, they ran some serious cover for Goodell. That was fabulous.
Yeah.
Because if you don't put Eminem on that stage with him, he's dead. Yep. He's done. Like he would have gotten booed to the moon.
And then to make sure you bring out, Amon-Ra.
Just when the crowd was done with, all right, Eminem's here, but we're still going to boo him. Right. And here comes Barry. Right. All right, we're sick of him. Here comes Megatron.
Right, here comes Calvin. Let's get the Jared Goff chants going.
Here's Aiden dressed as a wrestler. Bring him on out. Like whatever they could do to just not have Goodell get booed off stage. Right. That was the most elaborate cover fire you could run for him.
Yeah.
But it just, all of it worked. And I think the thing that for me I love is, like I said, it's like ripping a family member. You can do it if they're yours.
Right.
But you don't let other people make fun of your family.
No,
Detroit is our family. All right, we can bust its chops. We live here. This is our city. I've lived here every day of my adult life.
And Mike, probably the most beautiful thing was when I woke up this morning, it was just still positive stuff. Nothing happened.
Oh, you
overnight.
were waiting for the blotter report?
No, you didn't. No, I wasn't waiting. I just didn't want to see it. I woke up, and everybody was just saying what a great time they had, and I'm like, now that's a successful party.
Yeah. No, it was cool, and the city deserves it. The fans deserve it. Like Lions fans have put up with so much garbage. I was pumped. They moved up, and they got a player where everybody was able to be excited. Like I just, even if you didn't think corner was the biggest need, like how do you argue that? That's one of the best corners in the draft. And you got him when you started the night picking 29th.
Yeah.
And if he ends up stinking, hey, it is what it is, man. It's the draft. Plenty of sensible picks have gone wrong. But for me, you did what a Super Bowl team does. CB2 ended up on a milk carton. I got to go get somebody. Now, Terrion Arnold has the pedigree and comes from a program where, look, I bet you, and I'm not asking you to do this, because you were up till 3 a.m. going down a rabbit hole trying to figure out this Michael Penix thing. Alabama corners come into the league and they start. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? This isn't a project. This isn't out of the box, put the batteries in, boop, there you go, CB2. Right. That's what Super Bowl teams do, and I loved it. Now today, yeah, naturally, I want to go a different direction. I mean, I want an offensive lineman today, but if they choose not to, what am I going to do? I'm not going to be upset.
Yeah, Alabama offensive lineman, and I do think that the dominoes started when Mitchell got taken, because to me, when Nick Saban outright says, yeah, we tampered and we tried to get him to come to Alabama, that means he's Alabama-like.
What the hell kind of NIL package do you have where you can't get a kid to leave Toledo?
I think at that point, man, it's like Sauce Gardner, where you believed in me, so I'm going to stick with you.
Yeah, I'm going to ask it again.
It's a loyalty thing.
Yeah, well, I can give you about a million reasons why you don't need to be loyal to Toledo.
And here's the thing. He probably got a nice package from Toledo, because who else you paying the money to?
What, free Tony Pacos?
Dude, who else you paying the money to? It's not like you got to divvy it up.
Yeah, I'm with David on this one.
No, but I'm the man at Toledo. At Bama, you're in a room full of men. Toledo, it's you. You own the Glass House or whatever they call it.
It is the Glass Bowl, and you will put some respect on its name.
Have you ever been there?
Yes.
Okay. I have to.
Beautiful facility. 248-539-9797.
I went to see David's broke high school team down there.
What, Cass Tech?
Yeah.
Now, did they have a hard time adjusting to an actual 100-yard football field?
They kept kneeling at the 97.
They had a hell of a time at the goal line. Everything stopped at the 4. You could hear.
Y'all so
yeah,
much,
I was going to say, I could hear you seething through the microphone. But I want to hear it. I want to keep it a little bit open, where if people have thoughts about last night, I know it's later in the day, and you know, John and Doug and Cookies and the rest did their thing. Feel free. But I love it. I don't do draft. Like, who the hell does a draft grade? The guy hasn't played a game yet.
Oh, that's an electric suit coat.
No, it's not.
Stop it. No, it's not.
248-539-9797. No. Yeah, nice performance by them today. I'm telling you, I know we're not doing it today, and I know it's all draft. I can't with this team. Watching them play baseball is really difficult. No, but we're 14-20. It's the worst division God has ever witnessed. It's hard to watch. I got a guy, who the F is Buddy Kennedy? And why is he on my baseball team? That's what all Tiger fans should be asking.
He's red hot.
The guy doesn't have a picture on MLB.com. He's a silhouette.
That means he's under
Why
the radar.
is he playing third for me?
He's under the radar. He's the secret weapon. We don't want people to know who
we could have had Matt Chapman on a one-year deal. I got Buddy Kennedy.
But he's your buddy. He's your friend.
Right there.
He's your pal.
Okay. 248-539-9797. Let's get to the people. I want to hear about Terrion Arnold. I want to know where you want to go. Do you have a list, by the way? Does the RRI have a day 2 list?
I do.
You do?
I do.
We got to. Oh, man. How many names?
3.
Really?
Yeah.
I see 4.
Oh, okay, 4.
I don't know. Just check your.
I added a new name. Yes. Oh, okay. It was 3. All right. I need you to read name number 2.
Not if you want to have a show. We'll stay away from that one. All right, let's.
No, it was 3. Okay.
I'm just trying to keep me on your toes, man. I would never let you Ron Burgundy yourself. Come on, man. David, tell me where you're at with it. Obviously, the city was pumped up. This place went nuts. I'm just glad I didn't get it wrong when we were like, who are we taking? I'm like, I think it's Terrion Arnold. And thank God they said the name, or somebody would have thrown a wing at me. David, what do you make of it?
Yeah, I'm going to be quite honest. I never thought, of course, at 29, you never know what's going to happen. So many things happen in front of you at 29. But I never thought there would be a chance to get Terrion Arnold. We talked about it before the draft, that you would probably have to trade up to 13, maybe 14, something like that. And then as the night continued and no defensive players were taken, it just felt like a Detroit night. It really did. Not just only outside. The atmosphere was great. The people were great. Nobody did anything stupid from what I understand now. Hopefully they don't.
Yet.
But it just felt like a Detroit night as the defensive players just sat there waiting to be taken.
And look, it was
Great
one
job,
of the
Brad
better
Holmes.
offensive drafts you've seen. Remember, we talked about this in the lead-up. Like, scouts are saying this is the best offensive line class they've seen. Then you had, there was a thought you'd have 8 wide receivers go. And by the way, we got to talk about your team. I didn't get that one.
I know.
But it was the idea of all of the offense that was drafted, the desperation for quarterbacks, the wideouts, the offensive linemen. It pushed defensive players down the board. But here's the other thing, and Rico and I have tried to tell you, you can't use the mock drafts as the real value of these players.
No, you can't. And you also need to look at the fact that I think last night is showing you that the league is skewing a lot more towards offense, that it's all about scoring more points rather than shutting down the other team. And for the Lions, you went out there because while everybody else was bolstering their offense, you're saying, okay, we have to cover Jefferson. We have to cover all of these receivers. Addison, we got to cover all the Green Bay Packer receivers. We got to cover Rome Odunze. We need some extra help at the cornerback position. It's only fitting that, you know what, because your wide receivers, I think, are pretty much set. Now you can start focusing more on defense, and I could easily see them taking more defensive players. I know, yes, you should get an offensive lineman, but
No, that's just a me thing.
right.
I'm not.
But
listen,
now, you know what, Mike? We really do need to put some respect on David's name because, David is an NFL analyst. I don't know if you knew that or not.
Stop it, Rico. Don't do this,
David
man.
was breaking down the Pittsburgh Steelers draft pick on a nationwide show. Just in case you did not know that last night.
maybe in his mind.
No.
Was he talking to himself and thought he was on the radio?
Oh, no. David was on a national.
Where the hell were you, David? You were here.
Did you notice
I was in the back
he had the
joining
headphones
a
on.
show.
You were not.
It wasn't that big of a deal, okay? I just had fun, joined the show.
Oh, really?
It was-
From the same guy who uses the phrase "people know me"? Please,
I don't. What are you doing?
please.
All I know is I heard him say, no, Mel, calm down. Calm down, Mel.
The only thing that's worse, David, that I heard last night was Stoney's wife admitting she goes to get parking. She's talking to the parking attendant going, "I'm Michael Stone's wife." I'm like, oh, my Lord in heaven. I go, you pulled that? So it'd be
Just
Mrs.
to park.
Mrs. Stoney number 1. It'd be you number 2 right there, okay?
No way. It was just a thing I did, all right?
Okay.
Have fun.
I was like, hey, David, no, I don't have time for you right now.
Yeah, excuse me.
Please.
Excuse me.
Did-
Professionalism.
You really shooed him away. It was one of the best things I've ever seen. He shoos Rico away while he's
Stop.
on the air.
Did not happen.
It really did. Hey, Roberto.
David.
Look at Roberto.
I did not.
Roberto's verifying your behavior.
Well, I shoot him away because I didn't want him anywhere near me.
David gave me the finger and said, you can leave now.
Wow. Okay, so three questions for the people to start the day. If I'm missing anything, tell me now. Thoughts on the Terrion Arnold move? Thoughts on day 1 of the draft, the event itself? If you were down here, would love to hear from you. And then what do you want to see with this pick tonight? I've got a you wouldn't dare scenario if you want to hear it.
Yeah.
And I'm not yelling to the mountaintops at what it's what you should do. I'm saying it would represent a true all-in. Just work with me on it. We'll get to it. We'll do it next. Does that work for you?
Only if you get one of those sports coats. Yes,
Man,
sir.
please. You think I want to dress like that guy? 248-539-9797. We'll get your calls, your ticket texts. Got a blitz a little bit later, and you've got your night 2 list. Get to that at 5 o'clock.
3 names.
I still see a 4th. Who the hell's this guy named Bernie?
Yeah. Okay.